We're
more
not
about
just physical bodies, we are frequency, we are vibration. And so what you listen to, what you watch, what you put into your body, what, in your mouth, what you eat, all of these things play a part in your frequency and who we become.
Welcome to Good Vibes TV. I'm your host, Leslie Klein, here to help you raise your vibration so you can thrive. My guest today is a seasoned holistic health practitioner and coach with over 26 years of experience working with children and adults. Kathryn Samaltanos is the founder of Lotus Path Healing Arts. She is a holistic practitioner and wellness coach who offers a range of services, including yoga and mindfulness meditation, EFT, bodywork, and therapeutic art coaching, in addition to Acutonics. She helps people achieve greater mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Coming to us from Durango, Colorado, please welcome Kathryn Samaltanos.
Hello.
Kathryn, so good to see you.
So good to see you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Kathryn, now the audience may not know, but we've known each other for probably most of those 26 years.
Yeah, a lot of, yes.
In Florida, we became friends. And so you started this holistic path way back then. So tell me about how you got into bodywork and doing this work. And
okay. I started after college. I lived out in California for a while, and that's when I was really deep into my yoga practice. And I had been, after college, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And I was studying with Guru Singh, who's my yoga teacher in LA. And he was like, why don't you look into bodywork? And so I started looking and exploring different schools. And I found the Institute of Psychostructural Balancing in Los Angeles. And that's where I went to school. And it's very holistic. It's very body-mind oriented. We learned Tai Chi at the same time that we were learning massage. And it was just a really natural fit with the yoga that I was already teaching and practicing. That was like my first introduction into the world of holistic, wellness.
Wow. And so that was, you were, I guess, in your 20s at that time.
I was in my early 20s. I think I was about 26.
So you started, then you went to the school and then you started doing the bodywork?
Yep. So I went to the school. I had already done a yoga training. So then I went to, and I was teaching some yoga classes here and there around the city. And then I went to, the school and started practicing massage. And I've, over the years, I've learned all sorts of different modalities that I've incorporated into that practice as well.
So I know one of the modalities that you like is the EFT, or emotional freedom technique, which is fairly new. I mean, I know I heard about it a few years ago. Well, I don't know. How long has it been around, EFT?
I think it's been around about 30 or 40 years. So it is fairly new. And, it's something that's always kind of circled around me. Like when we knew each other in Florida, I heard it and I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't really delve into it at that time. And then later, it was during COVID, I was online like we all were, because that's what was going on. And I found this woman who ended up being my teacher, and she teaches and trains practitioners. And I just found it to be really powerful. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I will continue to do a lot of work on myself because that's part of who I am. But there are still some stuck, little sticky stuck places. And I was like, I'm ready to really clear these things. And this EFT has really helped me to clear out those old sticky places. Yeah.
Now, why is it important for us to work on ourselves? Because people may not understand body work and what that means. The average people know about getting massage, but body work is even a little bit more than that.
I feel like body work is a little more all-encompassing. I do massage therapy, but I also incorporate therapeutic stretching into it. I incorporate my Acutonics, which is a form of sound healing, into it. And, here and there, I'm incorporating EFT, although that can be something completely separate. It can be its own practice altogether. But why is it important for us to work on ourselves? I really, truly believe that we are all energy, we are all frequency. And when I do my work and raise my frequency, that's how I'm helping the world to raise their frequency.
Talk a little bit more about that, how, in the metaphysical world, in the energy world, we understand the concept that we're all connected. The way to create peace in the world is to kind of be at peace within, because we're all connected. So talk a little bit more about that.
Well, I mean, it's like there's a Buddhist saying, there is no way to peace. Peace is the way, right? So we have to find that peace within ourselves. Because if I'm not doing my own work and I'm out in the world trying to engage with other people, all my stuff is going to come out. It's going to come out. And when we don't deal with our emotional baggage, it comes out in weird ways. And it can come out like where I lash out at other people. It can come out in a way where I'm creating dis-ease within myself, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, all sorts of ways. So, it's important. It's important that we clear this stuff out, because the world is also getting more intense. The frequency is raising on our planet, and that's a great thing. But we need to be raising our own frequency so that we can maintain here.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons I started the Good Vibes TV show, to talk about and talking specifically about vibration and energy, so that we're entering this age of Aquarius, which is all about energy and frequency. So it's important to understand, to understand that we live in this universe of energies, and these things affect us.
Right. We're not just physical bodies, we are frequency, we are vibration. And so what you listen to, what you watch, what you put into your body, in your mouth, what you eat, all of these things play a part in your frequency and who we become. Right? That's all encompassing as far as like our consciousness is concerned. It's not just necessarily about meditation. It's about every little thing that we do throughout the day and what we feed ourselves through our eyes, our nose, our mouth, and our ears. And
the sixth sense, right?
That's right.
Of sensing what we don't see, right?
Right. Yes, and trusting that, right? That's because, and that's another part of like why I think that EFT is so powerful, because when we can clear our old stuff and get out of our own way, then we are more intuitive, right? We can really hear what our higher self or our guides are trying to communicate to us. Yeah.
So Kathryn, I noticed that you call your business Lotus Path Healing Arts, and I know about the lotus, in that it has its roots in the muck, but the beautiful flowers on top of the water, and it's a Buddhist symbol. But tell me more why you chose to call your business that name.
Okay, so that is a big part of it, right? They have to grow through the mud to reach the light and to bloom. And then another part is that our crown chakra is that 1,000-petaled lotus, right? It's all encompassing. It's us expanding and growing our consciousness. And I feel like I am on the lotus path. Like the lotus path is about my personal journey, my personal growth. And that's what I'm wanting to offer my clients as well, just guidance in their own personal growth.
So you see the lotus as being kind of like the self-actualization, maybe, to being our highest.
To be in our higher self, and it's continually opening, it's continually growing, it's continually expanding, and yeah. So that's the path that I'm on. I want to keep growing while I'm here. I feel like it's part of why we're here on planet Earth, is to learn and to grow and to raise our consciousness.
So talk about the connection of holistic health and reaching that, opening up our crown chakra.
So for me, when I say holistic, it means it's all encompassing. We're dealing with body, mind, and spirit, right? it's not just the one cure-all for everyone. Everybody's dealing with something different. So when my clients come to see me, I want to hear about what's happening in their lives, what's happening on every level that can help to progress their healing. So it's all encompassing.
Now let's talk about the EFT, emotional freedom technique.
EFT, okay, emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping. It's been around for a while now. It was developed, I believe the man who developed it was a chiropractor, and I did learn all of that in my training, but honestly, it didn't stick. But it wasn't quite as important as the results. The results were really important to me. So the way that I learned it, and there are probably different ways to practice EFT. There are different teachers who teach in their own way, just like different lineages of yoga or meditation. But the way that I learned is that there are 4 phases that we go through in an EFT session. So we'll go through a script. I work one-on-one with people, or I also do classes and workshops that are more general. But when I'm working one-on-one, we'll dig into some core questions, like what is the issue? What are your feelings about the issue? And there's quite a few. I won't go through all of them, but we go through some core questions to get deep into, like, what do you think is causing this? What's going on? And then we'll go through the 4 phases, and I'll create a script that's designed just specifically for them. And the first phase is acceptance, right? So acceptance is really important. And what I'm noticing is that there are a lot of people who aren't dealing with their negative feelings, and they're actually in an effort to try to keep a positive mindset, if that makes any sense. So, but that's actually counterproductive. So I get it, like law of attraction says, we can't be angry or we can't be sad because then you're going to attract more anger or sadness. But the reality is, like, part of being human is sometimes we get angry, sometimes we get sad, and we can't ignore that. Instead, we get to actually accept it and honor ourselves. And when we do accept it, it starts to reduce the emotional intensity around it. And it validates our experience, and we need to be validated. We need to validate ourselves. It's really, really important. When we validate ourselves and when we really accept that this is what's happening for me right now, we give ourselves permission to heal and to move forward.
So acceptance is the first step?
So acceptance is the first step. Yeah.
And then what's the second?
So the second step would be moving through empathy and understanding. And that involves, again, validating your feelings without judgment, honoring your experience, right? So, of course I feel this way. This happened to me when I was this age, and it was pretty traumatic. And so now whenever I have that experience, I get triggered, and that's okay. Again, it's just honoring your experience and your struggles, feeling understood, feeling accepted, being, when we feel understood and accepted, and when we start to understand and accept ourselves, it enables a greater sense of self-compassion. And self-compassion is key to healing, right? It's key to self-love. And that's where we're all working towards. It's just a deeper sense of self-love. And it creates a safe space for us to have a deeper emotional release so that we can let go of these core issues that we do carry around with us.
And then what's step 3?
So step 3 is opening and allowing. So many individuals feel like they start to feel resistance when addressing certain emotional issues, right? We get stuck and we want to block it and we don't want to deal with it. And the process of opening up and allowing for a different personality helps to bring breakthrough to that resistance. It can create heightened awareness of our thoughts and our feelings and the patterns and limiting beliefs that are actually holding us back. So opening up actually requires a shift in perspective, which can be transformative, and it helps to pave the way to creating a new narrative. And that's when we lead into creating a new reality, right? That's the final step in this process. And so when we're tapping on meridian points, which is what we are doing in the practice of EFT, it stimulates the body's energy system. And when we pair this with visualization and affirmation, it actually enables our brains to reorganize. So our neuroplasticity kicks in, which is really powerful. And I love that piece of it. I love that we're starting to recognize that neuroplasticity is real and we can actually create new neural pathways for ourselves. And so we form new neural connections as a result.
Yes, I think Dr. Joe Dispenza is the big expert on neuroplasticity, and also who's the other one?
What is
Bruce Lipton?
Bruce Lipton, yeah. And Bruce is really big into EFT. He's really into the power of EFT. My teacher studied with him a lot.
So let's define neuroplasticity for the audience who may not know these two experts. And
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not a neuroscientist, so I'm not going to be defining it in a, in a textbook way. But the way that I see it is, for a long time, we believed that once our brains were formed, that was it. And if you thought a certain way, or if you had certain patterns, that was it. Like, your brain is done. But what they've come to realize and recognize in the world of neuroscience is that no, we actually are. There's a neuroplasticity, meaning we can change those neural pathways. We can shift and break through old patterns and old limiting beliefs through practices like EFT, positive affirmations, even just doing things that are out of character, cold plunges. There's so many ways to create new neural pathways, getting out of those old patterns and creating a new, I don't know, what new way of seeing, a new perspective.
One of the stats is too that we use, well, I remember growing up, they said, oh, you only use 5% of your brain. And that's not true. Jim Quick is another one who's an expert on the neuroscience and how the brain works. And he said that that's a total myth, that we use our whole brain. And there's a left brain and a right brain. We're always using all of our brain. So that old thought of that we only tap into 5% is not true at all. It's a myth.
Right. And I love that, because to me, that's like, we're learning and growing. Like, we are the universe, right? And so we're all expanding, and even our knowledge and our wisdom about how we work is growing and expanding at the same time as we hurtle through the universe, and we're expanding through space as well.
Right. And now we have this thing called AI.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we do.
Which, who knows how that's gonna, impact us. Yeah. And so I've heard a couple of things about that, which is so interesting. But we, our biology and our brain, we're so divinely created. We have everything that we need within ourselves, that we don't need those external things.
I agree. So, we are just at the brink of tapping into our true potential as humans. Like, we don't actually need AI. We don't even need the smartphones. We actually have those abilities within us. And I don't necessarily need like a neural link. I don't need to be connected to everything all at once, all the time. That seems like very frightening for me. Anyhow. Yeah.
And I remember, Kathryn, you have a son that you've raised, but you were very particular, and talk about this, since we're on this topic of technology now. Talk about how you were very careful about raising your child and doing it more naturally. Yeah.
So when my son's Phoenix, he's 18 now, and when he was young and we were living in Florida, I had him when he was going to like a little pre-K program. It was just a couple mornings a week. I had him in a Waldorf school, and they really encouraged us to like stay away from technology for until they were at least, I think it was like 12. Now I'm not remembering exactly what their recommendation was, but I mean, when I had him, there was only the iPhone 3 was out, right? There weren't even iPads. When I had him, and this wasn't that long ago. I mean, 18 years is really not that long ago. There were no iPads, right? I did have my very first computer at that time. I kind of chose to keep the screen time away from him for a while, as long as I could. Now, the irony is my son's going to go to college, and he's studying computer information systems. So, it is what it is.
But there was probably a lot of value, because now there's the whole thing about the blue screen, that the vibes or the energy that we're getting, the frequencies that are coming off our tablets, our phones, our computers do really impact, and they don't even know to the extent, but it does impact.
There's the blue light and also just the EMFs, right? If I had a child right now, I wouldn't want them. I see little kids, I see babies on cell phones, and it's like, no, we don't need to be introducing them to that, even that electrical frequency yet. I believe. It's my belief. There's blue light that comes off the screen that actually activates the brain, right? So they say it's better to not be, if you're gonna, you can use the blue blockers or the red glasses in the evening time to help keep your circadian rhythms flowing the way that they should, so that you're not super off when your sleep patterns aren't off. But we shouldn't be having screen time after a certain time in the evening. Maybe once dinner's done, be done with screen time. And then they also talk about the red wavelengths that happen as the sun is rising and as the sun is setting, that it's good to be outside in that at those times. Again, that keeps our circadian rhythms flowing naturally.
So I think it's called solar gazing. Solar gazing, where you're seeing the daylight and you're actually looking at the sun when it's first rising, and like you said, when it's setting, and that, like you said, gets us in harmony, or like you said, the circadian rhythm, so that we can sleep properly.
That's right, because a lot of people's sleep methods are off. And then, we have we shouldn't have cell phones in our rooms. No. We shouldn't have cell phones in our bedrooms.
Or the Wi-Fi, or at night, the Wi-Fi and all that stuff should be turned off. And I'm guilty of it, because I'm on.
Yeah, for sure. I'm totally guilty of it. I use my cell phone as my alarm in the morning these days. But I do try to I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Just, limiting my time so that I can sleep and my sleep rhythms stay harmonious.
Right. Time for a break. When we come back, Kathryn will teach us how to do EFT, or emotional freedom technique.
A blue dot in the universe. Forever chemicals, microplastics, the burning of fossil fuels. We need solutions to our climate crisis. Our government now admits UFOs are real and is in possession of technologies well beyond our understanding, with the ability to provide clean energy. But the government won't tell us what they know. Go to newparadigminstitute.org, take action, and demand Congress hold hearings.
I know we kind of went off on this tangent of technology, but let's get back to the tech of our body, because we are these wonderful beings, of energy, and EFT is a beautiful way to balance our system. So let's go back to EFT and how that works. Are you ready? Do you have more to say on it, or do you want to?
No, I mean, maybe just I'll just give a little bit of for people who've never even heard of EFT. Part of the technology is that you are using the meridian system that they use in Chinese medicine that has been studied for thousands of years. So, we have meridians everywhere, which we will be tapping on, and we'll do this together, right? And each meridian actually is connected to an organ, and those organs are connected to emotions, positive and negative. So just as an example, and then we can get started. So this is your karate chop meridian, for lack of a better name, and it's connected to the small intestine. And the small intestine is about shock, sadness, unappreciated, feeling unappreciated, nervousness, discouragement, indecisiveness. Those would be like the stuck emotions, right? And then on the flip side, it's insight, relief, truth of both sides, self-love. Okay. So each meridian that we tap on has its own organ and its own emotional components. And that's part of how this works. And I thought today, since like there are universal core issues that everybody has, and self-worth tends to be one of them, I thought we could just do a little mini tap on feeling worthy.
I'm always talking about the David R. Hawkins scale of the lower emotions and the higher emotions, and we always want to be living in the higher vibe zone. But
Right.
What do you do when you're stuck with anger or resentment or these lower or shame or guilt? I mean, the lowest emotion he's saying is shame.
Yeah.
That's the lower, lowest vibrating frequency. So, of course,
And we don't want to feel shame for having shame. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, even just saying, well, shame is such a low frequency. It's like, oh, maybe, like that. I feel shame. Then I feel shame. Then I feel shame. I think it's important to, like, as I do this work, we got to give ourselves permission to feel all our feelings, whether they're high or low. And that's the power of EFT, is like giving yourself the permission. Because if you give yourself permission to actually feel them, then they will dissipate. They will go away. But if you ignore them, what you resist persists, and they will get bigger, and they will create havoc in your life in weird ways,
Right. So when we're feeling angry, it's important to process that emotion, to feel the feeling, whether you're talking to a therapist or writing it out on your journal or doing EFT. Here we have a new technique that we can use.
That's right.
And maybe, so we're going to talk about, I guess, self-worth, but this is a technique we can use to dissipate the lower vibration feelings. It's important to feel them. And then that way, then we can move back to the higher vibrations. Because, I mean, our pure state, isn't it a state of being in bliss? Like a baby?
Yeah.
Isn't
love,
that
right? That agape love, that just like all-encompassing divine source love is how I see it.
Yes. So that's our natural state. But then we have the experiences that are traumatic or whatever, and the lower frequencies. And we don't necessarily want to stay in that, because when you do, you're stuck in this 3D world that's, and just stuck in that. So this is a way to transmute these energies using EFT.
Right. That's right.
All right.
That's right. You got it, girl. That's it.
All right. I'm ready.
Let's do it. Yeah. So we're going to work on some self-worth stuff, and we're just going to do, like, this will be a little baby teaser tap. Sound good? Okay. So what I like to start, though, I like to just close your eyes, take a deep breath, exhale, and just take a moment to set an intention, right? Like, I like to set the intention that whatever's ready to be released will be released. Whatever's ready to be healed will be healed. And I'm trusting my healing journey. Good. And then we're going to bring our hands to our clavicles, so your collarbones, and then slide them down to the top of the breast tissue where it might be a little bit tender. And we're just going to start to move in a circle. And I want you to take a deep inhale and exhale, and you'll repeat after me. Even though I don't always feel respected and heard, I still deserve love and respect. Good. Now we're going to move to the top of the head, and we're going to start tapping. It's kind of frustrating. I don't always feel seen. And I acknowledge that that's hurtful. And even though I feel hurt, and I don't always feel seen, I deserve love and respect. Good. Moving to the brow. And I'm choosing to love and respect myself now. Good. Moving to the temples. I get really frustrated. Good. Moving to the cheeks. I get really discouraged. That's okay. So say that. That's okay.
And that's okay.
Good. Moving to the top lip. I accept that I'm doing the best that I can.
I accept that I'm doing the best that I can.
Good. And moving to your chin. And even though it's really tricky at times.
And even though it's really tricky at times.
When I don't feel honored.
When I don't feel honored.
I'm still choosing to love and respect myself exactly as I am.
I'm still choosing to love and respect myself exactly as I am.
Good. Moving to the chest. I'm open to accepting the idea.
I'm open to accepting the idea.
That even with these feelings. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Good. Moving to the lower ribs. I accept all of me now.
I accept all of me now.
Including these feelings of discouragement.
Including these feelings of discouragement.
Good. We're going to go under the arm. Including these feelings of frustration.
Including these feelings of frustration.
Good. Take a deep breath. Moving to the thumb. Moving to the thumb. I'm willing to love and accept myself anyway.
I'm willing to love and accept myself anyway.
Good. Moving to the index finger. I know that I'm doing the best that I can.
I know that I'm doing the best that I can.
Good. Moving to your middle finger. And even with these issues. I'm worthy of love.
I'm worthy of love.
Good. Moving to the ring finger, but this time it's the opposite side of the ring finger. So you're going in the opposite direction. Good. I accept that this is what it is.
I accept that this is what it is.
Sometimes I'm discouraged. Good. Moving to the thingy. Sometimes I don't feel honored. Good. Moving to the outer edge of your hand, and that makes me feel unworthy. And that's okay. Okay, take a deep breath. We're going to move to the top of the head again. I honor that this is challenging for me. Good. Moving to the brow. It's been like this for a really long time. Good. Moving to your temples. I thank and respect myself for getting as far as I have. Good. Moving to your cheeks. This has been a pattern in my life for a really, really long time. Good. Moving to the top lip. And it makes me feel unworthy. So of course I have these feelings. Good. Of course I feel stuck. Yeah. How else am I supposed to feel? Good. Moving to your chest. I needed love and support. And I didn't get that need met. So this is how I feel. It makes perfect sense. Good. Moving to the lower ribs. I have compassion for the part of me. That feels so unseen. Good. Now I want you to close your eyes and just think about that part of you that feels unseen and disrespected or discouraged. And I want you to send that version of you with so much love. And whatever part of you comes up, it might be you at 9, right? Send that 9-year-old self-love. It might be you 5 minutes ago. Send that 5 minutes ago version of you. It's a lot of love and compassion. A lot of love and compassion. Good. We're going to move back to the top of the head. I'm open to my body and my mind working together on healing this. Working together to heal this. Yeah, good. Moving to the brow. I'm open to the possibility that there's a different way through this. Good. Moving to your temples. Is it possible that I can begin to release some of this resentment and anger?
Is it possible that I'm willing to release some of this resentment and anger?
And so ask yourself, is it possible?
Yes.
Okay, yes. It's happening.
It's happening.
Good. It's possible and it's happening.
possible and it's happening.
Good. Moving to the top lip. I'm allowing myself to release this now.
I'm allowing myself to release this now.
This has been an old pattern for me, and I'm ready to let it go.
This has been an old pattern for me, and I'm ready to let it go.
Good. Moving to your lower lip. I'm open to this being easier than I imagined.
I'm open to this being easier than I imagined.
Good. Moving to the chest. I'm open to forgiving myself and anyone else involved in making me feel this way.
I'm open to forgiving myself and anyone involved in making me feel this way.
Good. Moving to the lower ribs. It doesn't have to happen overnight.
Doesn't have to happen overnight.
I'm allowing these changes to happen naturally and in their own time.
I'm open to letting this happen naturally and in my own time.
Good. Moving to the wrist. I feel like there is a way to do this now.
I feel like there's a way to do this now.
Good. Moving to your thumb. This is happening.
This is happening.
Good. Moving to the index finger. I'm finding a new way to heal this issue.
Finding a new way to heal this issue.
Good. Moving to the index finger. I'm letting go of this anger now.
I'm letting go of this anger now.
Good. Moving to the ring finger, going the opposite direction. I'm letting go of this feeling of unworthiness now.
I'm letting go of this feeling of unworthiness now.
Good. Moving to the pinky finger. I'm releasing all of these negative emotions.
I'm releasing all of these negative emotions.
Good. Moving to the outer edge of the hand. Take a deep breath. I'm open to the possibility of healing this.
The possibility of healing.
Of healing this.
Of healing this.
Gracefully.
Gracefully.
And easily.
And easily.
Good. Moving to the top of the head again. I choose to be more peaceful and confident when it comes to this situation.
I choose to be more peaceful and confident when it comes to this situation.
Good. Moving to the top brow. I'm creating peace with this dynamic.
I'm creating peace with this dynamic.
Good. Moving to the temples. I'm ready to call my power back now.
Ready to call my power back now.
Good. Moving to the cheeks. I want you to now close your eyes again and visualize you pulling all your power back. So anywhere you feel like you let your power go or you don't feel empowered, whether it's with a relationship or a work situation or any type of situation, I want you to visualize you have these giant scissors and you're cutting those cords and you're pulling that power back into your center, your power center. Good. Moving to the top lip. I'm getting my power back now.
I'm getting my power back now.
Good. Moving to the lower lip. It's possible.
It's possible.
That it's safe for me.
That it's safe for me.
To stand my ground.
Stand my ground.
Deep breath. Moving to the chest. This is happening.
This is happening.
And I'm imagining it will be surprisingly fun and easy.
And I'm imagining that it'll be surprisingly fun and easy.
Good. Moving to the lower ribs. I'm choosing to be okay with this in a way that works for me.
I'm choosing to be okay with this in a way that works for me.
Good. Moving to the underarm. I'm allowing myself to heal this situation safely.
I'm willing to heal this situation safely.
Good. Moving back to the top of the head. I'm creating peace with this now.
I'm creating peace with this now.
And then we're going to move to one arm. I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am valuable.
I am valuable.
What I'm doing has value and worth.
What I'm doing has value and worth.
Moving to the heart. I am valuable.
I am valuable.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I'm lovable.
I'm lovable.
Any other I am that you want to say?
I don't know.
No?
No, I said I don't know. I I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm joyful.
I'm joyful.
I'm inviting more harmony into my life.
I'm inviting more harmony into my life.
Okay, good. Now, inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And I want you to just to visualize for a moment. I want you to feel like I get tingly when I do this. I can feel my energy expanding. I can feel it tingly all over. I want you to tune into that feeling. And I want you to start to visualize you in your power, in your glory, in your worth, being revered, being respected, being held up. Who is there? What are you doing? Just really take in the whole scene. Go ahead and lock it into your energy field. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And open your eyes. So one thing that I did forget to do at the beginning that we typically do in EFT sessions, just to gauge like how much did this work, is this really helping, is at the beginning, I would have said like on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the most intense, 0 being the least intense, where would this land for you? Like if you're having any type of issue with your feeling seen or heard, like what would the number be? So let's say I said a 7 right in the beginning, and I'd write that down, and then we'd go through a whole tapping, and at the end, after we do our meditation, I would say, tune in now. What is the number now? And typically, every now and then, I've never had it happen, in any of my sessions, but my teacher said every now and then, because you're stirring a pot, it might go up instead of down, but it's movement, and that's okay. But most 98% of the time, the number goes down, and you can tap it to a 0, and it won't grow back. Like once it's a 0, it's a 0. So, and my teacher also would say a lot, like, so 10 hours, right? Like you've had a lifetime of dealing with this issue. What if you put 10 hours of tapping into clearing it? Is it worth it? Right. It's worth it, right? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be 10 consecutive hours. Right. Just pulling it up and work.
But that's the idea of that. It took you 60 years to get to where you're at.
Exactly.
And there's something you want to get rid of. You're not necessarily going to get it done in 5 minutes. It's probably possible, but it takes time because it's the neural pathways that we're changing.
Right.
Is that
that's
okay?
Right.
So it's like a
clearing it out of our energy field too, because things get trapped. And I kind of liken, and I don't know that they're really clear on this, but like our energy body or our energy system and our nervous system are connected. So things get stuck and trapped. And that's why they've done PubMed studies. So if anyone who's interested, I highly recommend looking up the PubMed studies on EFT, because there's multiple. There were people who had MS, and they were doing it, and they started to put their MS into remission after dealing with some stuck energy. So it's not just helping, on a mental or emotional, it's really helping on a physical level as well, because we are all connected. That's why we're holistic. That's why it's body, mind, and spirit. There's no separation. Right. Yeah.
That makes total sense. And that's why, so working on the emotional and mental level affects the physical. Because this ease is stuck energy. I'm understanding stuck energy.
Yeah.
And so, but you don't necessarily have to use the traditional ways maybe to use the physical drugs or things like that. But we naturally can bring harmony to our bodies using techniques like this EFT.
And so many, we've talked about this before, but I'm going to share with your audience is like I have been a body worker for 26 years. And so I was having chronic pain through my forearm for about 8 or 9 months. And I really kind of was chalking it up to, well, this is just part of being, a body worker and being the age that I am and having the experience I've had. This is just probably what's next. And I went and did my training, and my training was a 10-day immersion. And so I thought, great, I'm going to do this training. It's going to give my body a little break. And I can, rest my arm. And in the meantime, I was doing all the things. I was doing acupuncture, massage therapy. I changed my diet, like all the things that I know how to do. and they would help, but it wouldn't completely get rid of it. And when I went and did my 10-day immersion, the first couple days it was fine. It didn't bother me at all. The third day, when we were really getting deeper into our emotional work, my hand was like so flared up. It was excruciating pain. That lasted day 3 and 4. By day 5, the pain was completely gone, and it has not come back. And it's been a couple years now. So that is my own personal experience, with how it can actually heal the body as well.
Was there an emotional connection? Did you
Yeah, I mean, I was going through my business partner breakup. And that was, and it was hard. And I had some stuff that I wasn't processing. And, it's like, this is the thing about the world that we live in today. It's not like I was consciously, I'm not going to process this. It's just that life keeps happening and things compound, right?
Right.
One day after the next. And so that's why taking the time to actually work on things, taking the time to actually process it is really important. That was a good lesson for me. Really good.
So really our bodies, we can learn from our bodies. When there's pain, it's telling us something to pay attention. Yeah, and there's something emotional behind that, mentally, maybe emotional behind that. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, especially with chronic pain, things like you don't really know where it's coming from or why. I would, it's one thing if you break your arm in an accident, right? Like there's going to
have this pain like you had in your arm.
Well, yeah, but when you have, yes, or just like the MS patients who like their bodies were turning on them, but then they started processing their emotions and it started to put their MS in remission. So listen to your body. Our body and our emotional systems are here to communicate to us, right? And if something doesn't feel right, then we got to look at all aspects. What's happening in my life right now? What am I not dealing with? What do I need to stop and process?
I love that. Thank you so much. I've done EFT. I've followed like Nick Ortner. They have like every year they do a annual event, but his tapping was a little bit different. I noticed because it didn't include the rib part, and even some of the hand part too. So I guess they're different types of EFT?
I think that EFT is EFT and people have kind of taken it and turned it into their own thing, maybe.
Kind of like Reiki a little bit. Like there's all these variations of Reiki.
Yeah, and even yoga or martial arts, they just kind of start to create their own little spin-offs. What I like about the way that I learned is it is very thorough, and we get into, it is a balance of psychology and say acupressure, so you're using the two, but you're really clearing out some psychological stuff too, because we, like I said, when I'm dealing one-on-one, I'm not just doing a general class for people, then we're getting really specific so that people can really honor their own truth and honor their own experience. Yeah.
So when someone works with you, is EFT one of the options, or do you have a series of things that you kind of customize?
Yeah, so if I have clients who are here locally, then they can see me for whatever it is that I offer, right? And I offer all sorts of things. I do a coaching and wellness program. I have people who just come for the sound healing or body work. I have people who just sign up for the EFT, but then I have also like a wellness coaching program that I can create and just design around my clients' needs. So that includes the therapeutic art that we kind of got into a little bit earlier.
Let's talk more about the therapeutic art and what you do, because you had said something about Zentangle, and you have a video that you should send to me.
So you were asking me what kind of art would you consider therapeutic? I mean, to me, all art is therapeutic, but that's how I'm designed and wired. But when I'm working with my clients, especially I have a lot of younger clients right now. Like when I say younger, I mean in their early 20s. And the world is different. The world is different. And there's a lot more of anxiety, I think, than I ever had in my 20s. And so I see it. So a lot of times we'll do a Zentangle and that helps you to focus, because you're drawing. I mean, they're very simple. You don't have to be an artist to do this, right? none of the art that I do, you have to be an artist to do. That's what makes it more of a therapeutic art than fine art. But the Zentangles itself, it brings you to the present moment. You get more focused. It brings an element of mindfulness. You can focus on the lines that you're drawing and your breath, and it can just like kind of bring things in for people when they're feeling scattered or pulled or super anxious.
I want to play this video that you sent me. It is time lapse, so it's fast. But talk over it. You can kind of explain how it works.
Okay, so this is really, I mean, I was just making it up as I go along, and you're just creating patterns, repetitive patterns over and over again. And that is also very calming for the mind as well when you create repetitive patterns. It doesn't have to look any specific way. This was just a way that I was feeling like creating, you know. You could do, and they can be big and they can be small. You could do a Zentangle like, you know, a little 2x2 square. It doesn't have to be large either, but just something that's going to help you to focus, connect with your breath, get mindful, kind of pull your energy in. That's one of the things I also do. I did bring some samples of different art projects that I've done with my clients. So like this is it's a mixed media piece, and it's watercolors and also collage. And it says, wake up your inner guidance. That's, you can't really see it in here, but maybe there. And so, you know, this is another one. And this is a really fun one to do that anyone could do. And we kept it really simple and just did a heart and did the warm colors, the cool colors. But again, it's just about bringing your focus, you draw the heart, you draw the lines, and then you start to round out all the little corners. And rounding out the corners actually creates a very soothing, calming effect. And then the watercolors are really soothing and calming as well. So there's, and then this final one, this was one that I did with a young client. She's a little more artistically inclined. So let's see. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little dragon in there. And that's watercolors mixed with Posca pens. So it's a mixed media piece too. And we just started by putting watercolors on the paper and blowing it with a straw. And then kind of waiting for the whatever was inside of it to come out. And so for me, a dragon wanted to come out. That's what I created. I love that. And again, like, it's not about how it looks, right? It's really about getting into the feeling, the color and the feeling. Sometimes we'll even do more of like a vision board type, just to kind of get it, like, what is it that we're trying to get clear on? So, and it can be more based on feelings and emotions, and also goals.
Love that. So what's the best way for people to reach you and work with you?
So the best way is probably to go to my website. Oh, and I forgot to give you that Calendly link, but that's okay. It's on my website. Go to my website, lotuspathhealing.com. You can schedule an appointment. You can schedule a free 30-minute discovery call to see if what I offer is right for you. And then we would just go from there.
Now, I understand you have a special offer for our Good Vibes TV viewers.
Yeah, I do. So anyone who mentions that they saw this episode will get 10% off their first session or treatment, whatever it is that you end up getting.
Actually, I do have your Calendly.
Oh, wonderful.
Here it is.
Perfect. So that'll take you directly.
But it may be a little easier just to go to the website because that's easier to kind of remember.
If they go to my website as well, like, they'll see all the things that I offer and it'll give a deeper description. So if they're looking for that, like, that's a good place to go. The Calendly will just take you to my booking page.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I love that. So Kathryn, I love to ask my guests what they do specifically, personally, to raise their vibration. So of course, the Zentangle or the artwork and the EFT are obvious things that you do.
Right.
Are there some other things, or do you incorporate or do a certain kind of way?
Yeah, I mean, I do lots of things because that's kind of what I'm about. I like to eat healthy and meditate and all the, the clean living yoga. I love to be in nature. And I have to say, like this past year and a half, I really committed to like what brings me joy. What is going to bring me more joy in my life? And I have found that I really love live music. It's one of my favorite things to do, go listen to good live music. I love to dance. I think dancing is a really powerful way to raise your vibration. Music's a powerful way to raise your vibration. And I have a new puppy and she's bringing me so much joy as well. So in addition to all the like kind of obvious things that we do to raise our vibrations, just tuning into those things that bring you joy, I think is really, really key.
So good to have all those different tools, and it really, I guess, changes too in our life. There's certain different levels. We're using different techniques to raise our vibration, and it's changing. It doesn't have to be a set thing. That's why I love learning about all these different techniques and doing them for a little while until then you find something else and you do that for a little while, and then you kind of go back to,
And that's how I've always been. I am a student of life. I'm a seeker. I'm a learner. I'm a lifelong learner. And when I find things that really resonate with me and are powerful, then I probably will do a training and learn how to teach them because that's who I am. Otherwise, I just like to explore and have a good time. And, I really believe also that happiness is a choice. I know that like life happens and we all have like being human brings struggle, but being happy is a choice. It's not something that's happening outside of me. It's something that's happening inside of me. And I really am committed to creating the choice of happiness every day.
I was going to ask you if there was any final thoughts, but I think it's
That's
right
it.
there. Happiness is a choice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kathryn, so much for this interview and for sharing these beautiful techniques with me and the audience. And again, if anyone wants to reach out to you and work with you, because you do stuff in person, but what are the things that are available online?
That's right. I do. My coaching program is available online, and my EFT sessions are available online as well. Mm-hmm. Meditation. Well, coaching is all encompassing. And so a quick discovery call will kind of fill people in on what that entails.
Thank you again, Kathryn, so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
So good to see you. Thank you for watching. If you received some value from this episode, please like, share, and subscribe so everyone will learn how to raise their vibration. Peace out, everyone.